Hey, everybody's a pirate. Look at this.
Hey, we're all pirates in our own way. Army,
Aren't we?
We're live a little bit past the top of the hour. It is Xbox Nation Hump Day.
Hump Day.
A lot of people's favorite day. We're here to entertain you and have a good time. We've got a lot of good topics and a lot of good people here. So I want to get started right into the introductions. I got my man Mooch. What's going on, Mooch? How the hell are you, bro?
Buddy, I'm good, man. A lot of gaming getting in. It's unbelievable how much gaming we've been able to do in this early part of 2019 already. But lots to talk about. Borderlands 3 announcement was huge. A lot of good stuff today, Crap. Very excited.
It's good stuff, man. Days gone, a lot of new rumors.
Absolutely.
Xbox, so very happy to kind of
be a loud episode. Just tell us
who's yelling. As you guys get in here, go ahead and like and share it out and do that so that YouTube can I don't know. Sometimes they're not on the ball with that, so please do that. We also got Xbot 4-3 Dragon 8 or 9 or 7 or
what's going on, everybody? Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, what's going on, mateys? Guys, I just did an over 3-hour stream of the new anniversary update for Sea of Thieves, and guys, it only felt like a half hour. Unfortunately, the Don and O Snaps and Spider-Man decided that I wasn't a good captain and threw me in the brig.
You can never please Spider-Man.
You know, I see that. I was like, dude, you hate talking to me, don't you? Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, it's good. Like that's what's funny about Sea of Thieves is you put 4 hours in it and it feels like 20 minutes and you've gained no money and done nothing. You know what I mean?
I think we're going to talk about it a little bit later on, but I was trying to keep my crew on point, man. I was thinking about dropping them off at the nearest port and just taking it on myself at one point in time, man. But I think we're going to talk about the anniversary, right?
Yeah, well, I got it on the topic list. It's definitely going to be something we're going to talk about. We also have So Shady. What's up, man? How you doing, dude?
Well, I'm doing good, man. I'm back for another week of sweet news, sweet rumors, and reveals, man. It was the industry never lets us down, never leaves us hanging, man. Let's get into it.
They don't. I mean, I was shocked today. I log on and I see the Rocket League developer being bought out by Epic Games, and then Epic Games is pulling it off Steam. Like, holy crap! Like
hashtag courage.
And yeah, I mean, God, they're really going all out. So I mean, I can't wait to actually talk about that in a little bit. Exactly, man. That's we got back here, Knox. What's going on, man? How's it going?
Oh man, ain't nothing, bro. Chilling, man. Eager to get into these topics, bro. It's been a tough week. I'm off tonight though, so let's get it.
Oh,
man.
Yeah. And I also back in. We got Predator. What's going on, Pred? How's it going?
What's up, man? Another podcast. I know I was going to be on until the last minute, but yo, I'm here.
I just include you in now, like if you
could, right? You know I mean? I was like, oh shit, I'm on the show tonight.
I was like, hey, there's Pred. I'm taking the next podcast. All I need now is to get Don and K Mega in here, and then we'll be next Box Nation.
Oh, I like that. Next Fox Nation.
Exactly. So
coming soon. Yeah.
100%, man. So again, as you guys join in, please like, share, and if you haven't subscribed yet, go and do that. Hit the bell, all that kind of good stuff. I want to jump in because there was sort of leaks about some studios that Microsoft might be announcing soon, and these are carrying some weight because we know Microsoft is going to announce a new studio or few this E3 because Phil Spencer has already said as much. And obviously, even though Microsoft did announce 5 new ones last year, they're going to need more than that. Like, let's just be real. If you look down the list, we've all seen the list. We've seen that Microsoft has a lot of IP factories. So you need some wild cards in there, some AAA wild cards as well. So the rumor is Crytek, IO Interactive, and Relic Entertainment as being the big 3. Now,
nice.
What's particularly interesting about the Crytek thing is they license their engine out, so that's totally something Microsoft would be a part of, right? They can make money off that engine license agreements and things like that. They would own the IP Rise, and I think that gives them a boost in that sort of idea that they could get a Rise 2, or I'm not sure what they would do in terms of exclusives, but we haven't gotten a a Crisis game this entire generation.
Right.
Yeah, man,
So
that was the game that was melting graphics cards for the better part of a decade. That was the benchmark. So if
Yeah,
true,
like-
and Microsoft is able to bring a Crisis and make it that visual stunning again, because that's what they've been taking a lot of heat for the last few years, is their exclusives don't look as good as Sony's. And Crisis is known for its graphics, my God. So if true, and Crisis is a thing, I hope.
Well, there was a few
they
people
bring
that
the
said that they kind of debunked it a bit, crap. So I mean, I people were saying it's probably false, but I got to be honest with you, I think that's an acquisition that is one that's worthy of lighting a match and standing up and applauding, because not just what Shady's saying, which holds weight. I mean, Crytek has always been a benchmark, but realistically, it's just the CryEngine. You know, and Microsoft really could capitalize owning that. But I mean, you see these names coming out, and I listened to your last video too, crap, and I think your last video was actually a little bit more reminiscent of what we may see come to fruition at E3, and that is they're probably going to buy one decent name studio, which may be that IO Interactive, which is the Hitman folks, which to me personally, they're good, but they're not exciting. And then there'll be two smaller, like In Exile pickups. But that you know, and that's because, listen, guys, that's not a negative. They've got to fill up Game Pass. They've got to have games coming at the regular, and they're not always going to have, you know, 343 coalition style caliber stuff coming at you. Buying a Crytek, I thought was big because you'd get the engine is what they want to make money on. Like when they buy Havoc or they buy these other things, that's what's big for them to purchase and make money on selling that out. But realistically, I don't see that being. I don't think that's going to come to fruition.
Mooch, when it comes to the CryEngine, that's a great point right there. Because huge shout out to my brother K Mega. He's the first one to bring that information.
Yes, it was K. Yes.
And I looked at it. I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm not so sure about that, because when you're acquiring a studio that also licenses like an actual full game development engine. Even if, and I'm not saying it's true, but even if that game development engine is absolute crap, that raises the price of that studio significantly. And if the rumors are true about what 343 was doing in making the Slipspace engine, right? Seeing them put in chunks of money for two engines, even though they can license out the CryEngine, I'm a little skeptical on that. I don't know if they're gonna open up the money bags like that, in order to acquire the engine as well as the development studio.
Well, it's being licensed out. I mean, you can almost name the amount of CryEngine games on one hand. Like we had Prey last year. There's that Hunt Showdown that's coming to Xbox Game Pass, I believe, like in the next month or so. Other than that, it's far from being out there like Unreal Engine is. So, yeah, I mean, they could actually pick it up.
Definitely, smaller games have been picking it up more and more. Like, when it comes to Hunt Showdown looks incredible. Predator, I know he plays it on the PC. I can't wait for it to come to Xbox. But other than that, it's a sprinkling of littler games, as that I've seen that are actually being developed right now with that engine.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's going to drive the price up that much. Was my point. Like if it was Unreal Engine or something, like my God,
dude, it definitely will, especially with the ability to license out that engine. That's the one thing I'm saying. In a normal circumstance, development studio, you look at Rise, which was an Xbox exclusive, and Crisis. It's like the what has Crytek done for us lately type thing, and that would lower the price. But with having that backbone of the CryEngine in there, like I said, even if the engine was absolute garbage, that is going to run the price up significantly. And I don't know if they're going to do that.
If Microsoft thinks that they can flip it, they'll buy it, they'll acquire it. They have the money to do it. They definitely have the capital.
Well, don't just look at the money that Microsoft has, because they can buy anything if they really wanted to. But like, look at the money that company doesn't have. Like, keep in mind, this same company was like almost belly up, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they got their feet under solid ground for a little while, but you start looking forward at the projection of what they have coming out. Hunt Showdown isn't really selling that well on PC. No. It might get a little bump on Xbox and PlayStation.
Their only other game is Warface.
Yeah, and so like and again, that's in Game Pass, right? So like the relationship is there, right? So again, it's been rekindled with Microsoft over time. So the possibility of them picking this up is a yes. And the fact that, Microsoft will say, look, we will fund Crysis. We will fund, anything you have going on with Warface. We will fund, Rise 2, and we'll purchase you and let you have creative freedom for Crysis 3 or 4 or whatever. I think it's 4 is the next one. Like
creative freedom, make a Crysis 4.
Yeah, make us a Crysis. Like in that. But keep in mind, but that's forward thinking, right? You're investing in that, So you're getting those games. You're getting that engine that really, the smaller studios are using, but the bigger studios aren't using that much anymore. Even when Amazon, license them out, they end up coming with
and that's my point right there. A lot of people are like, well, you can license it out and stuff like that. And my point is, smaller development studios are the ones using that engine right now, in order to build maybe, some projects that they wanted to that isn't really kind of like heavily funded and stuff like that. So it's not like, I don't look at it as like that jewel in the crown, but it is going to raise the price.
It's gonna make it okay. It's gonna raise the price, but I don't think it's gonna raise it significantly to the point where Microsoft's like, we're out.
Yeah,
keep in mind they do have their own engines too. They have, Havoc. They have Slipspace.
Well, Havoc is only a physics engine, and this is what I tried to say on Twitter. A bunch of people are like, "Well, don't they have Havoc? Why aren't they making games with Havoc?" And I'm like, Havoc is if you look at it as
a tool, not an engine, really.
Yeah, it's a middleware type thing that deals with it's an engine that deals with only physics. You don't do graphics
so do they
on
want to buy another company that has another engine to compete with their own?
Well, give people options, I guess. I mean,
it's a cheaper option, yes, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Like,
it doesn't compete with their own engine, though, is what I'm saying.
I don't know that. That's why I'm asking the question. However,
Havoc's is Havoc.
Not Havoc. I'm talking about CryEngine.
Well, okay, and what engine is that like competing with that they would buy?
Engine. They're not going to use that on anything else but fucking.
But they're not licensing out the Slipspace.
Exactly. That's a selling point. But we don't know that going forward what they're going to do with Slipspace, and they're only using it with Halo right now. Mm-hmm. But they could license out a version of it that other people can use later on. But right now, just speaking as current time. Right now, hardly anyone is using the CryEngine that way.
That is true.
So they can buy that. You're trying to say like, oh, they're going to purchase this because it's all they have. They have other games on that use that engine. They have other games under the development cycle, and they have CryEngine. They're all selling points, but I think the price will actually stay down low because of the issues they've had with financials recently in the past couple of years, and the fact that really no one's really using that engine anymore since Amazon kind of pulled out and started using their own lumberyard engine. So it's cheap, and it's going to not help Microsoft, but help Crytek sell it now, because they're not doing anything really with it. They're not promoting it like they should be. They're not really, like, especially with their financial situation, they need the back end of Microsoft at this point.
Dude, they do. That's what makes this rumor seem almost believable to me, is all three of these companies have talent. They're pretty big. They're known for games they've made, but they struggle financially, and they fit that formula of other companies that Microsoft has been buying, like Ninja Theory and stuff like that. Yeah. If true, I could see a video from each of these companies being like, now we don't have to worry about paycheck to paycheck. Our next game doesn't have to be a big hit for us. We can just make what we want and hope that the people resonate.
It for really Xbox, though. Like,
you would hope so, but like they seem to really fit the formula that the other studios were a part of. Like it's the same type of scenario that they're all in.
What happened with the CryEngine is the Unreal Engine is just that damn good. All right, that's what it is. Easy to work with. Put out like premium type assets. Make a quality game. Unreal has taken over the entire industry, basically.
Which helps drive the price of the CryEngine down.
It could. Hold on. Eli Chun says, so are you guys happy with the new studios? If you're talking about like these three in particular, we don't know because they're just rumors yet.
Right.
But the ones they announced last year, I'm happy with the majority of them, but there's still some that I'm very suspect of, which is like In Exile and Compulsion Games. And I'm not really a fan of Undead Labs. I get why Microsoft went there. Sorry, Sully.
But
yeah, I'm just not a fan of what they bring to the table. Just they're going to be an IP factory cranking out more State of Decay games. And
well, not just that, but think about it. If you liked We Happy Few, a lot of people go, well, Mooch, We Happy Few was absolutely gorgeous. It was fantastic. Well, that's fine. And it like Crap just said, it's going to be Game Pass filler. That's great. If that's your bag, that's what you're paying for. Why not? Fill up the space. But I do think that, you know, you have to look at some of these. A lot of people write all the time. They go, Mooch, why is it you're not a big fan of the newly acquired companies? And it's really what Crap's been saying over the weeks that I would say a bunch of them, I think, a good half of them have decent talent, but the rest of them aren't really putting out those, you know, quote unquote bangers. They're not gonna put anything out there that you're elbowing your buddy next to you, be like, I gotta have that game. I need to have that game.
It could be a 72 meta Days Gone from PSN Studios. Never who cared what they did and now they come out with a game that a lot of people are enjoying. It could be that scenario here.
It could.
It could also be a top-down shooter like or a top-down strategic game like XCOM and put us all into a coma.
Yeah, I think the main thing to keep in mind here as well is Microsoft is incredibly hands-off with these studios.
That's the problem.
Which could be a bad thing, given that, you know, I think the Xbox, yeah, you know, like the Xbox brand, it needs some like RPG, it needs some stuff like that, you know, to flesh it out. I'm not sure if isometric RPGs like the PC style that in Exile does, or more Compulsion Games has only done We Happy Few and a game called Contrast. You know,
I like Contrast, but it was.
I don't have anything against it. I'm just saying
it was a very small title. Though.
That was a game where you were a shadow and you jumped within shadows to like platform. Yeah. And I mean that's where it all that's what this all comes down to, right? Crap. It's going to be, what is it that I really think it comes down to the fact that Microsoft constantly gives all of these companies so much leeway, so much space. I think there was an article out recently, and Crap, you may have touched on this or not, that PSN Studios wanted to do multiplayer for Days Gone.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Sony kiboshed it. Okay, and Shady,
Wheelhouse, you have no talent. It could have been that, like, hey, they just know their own guys, and it's like, don't bite off.
Guess what, Shady? Guess what, though, Shady? I agree with you. And guess what? That's my point. They were like, wait, whoa. No. You guys are not good at that. Stop it. Microsoft would have been like, sure, go ahead.
But I think it also,
and it would have sucked.
I think it also has something to do with them. They needed to keep working on the
too.
The regular campaign. They didn't want them to divert their attention to
Knox. It's all about having. I've been saying this for months now. But you got to have your finger on the pulse. Doesn't matter if you have an ice cream parlor.
You're right, bro.
Right?
I agree with you.
Anything from an ice cream parlor to a $500 billion, $700 billion company. You got to have your finger on the pulse.
I mean, Shady just said it, right? He said, it lets these guys. Shady just said it himself right now. Lets these guys come in here and not put out such a great game and be like, hey, we don't have to put out a good game and get paid. That's the feeling that you get from Microsoft right now. You know, with their games, it's like, yeah, they're letting their studios just do whatever they want. Now you gotta hold them to task, bro.
I would like to see Phil come out and be like, you know, and that's why Matt Booty was hired. And I've said this a number of times. I can only talk about the past. I can't talk about the future. You could be wary or you could be excited. That's up to you. But I have a lot of faith in Matt Booty. I think Matt's going to do a great job. You don't see him on Twitter. You don't see him talking his mind. You don't see him telling you what he's going to do this weekend. He's working.
We don't see selfies. We don't see lattes. We don't see selfies.
Crap. No, when Insomniac released Spider-Man, once it was done, we saw Insomniac say, "Hey, thanks Sony for all the money and for all the freedom and for letting us do whatever we had to do." And
except that they had a guideline book. They had a guideline book that was bigger than the Bible, for God's sake.
Yeah, they had guidelines from Marvel. Yeah, great, but they had overseeing like story stuff. But overall, it was just like they praised Sony for staying the hell out of their wheelhouse. That was it.
But I'm pretty sure, Shady, that Sony was checking in on them, checking progress, and being like, "Oh, all right, you're on the money, baby. Keep on."
I mean, I like where Shady's going with that, but Shady, the only thing I think you picked a really bad example because they literally got a book of rules from Marvel and other people that was bigger than War and Peace.
Spider-Man games in the past weren't setting the world on fire. This is just a better looking, better playing version of those games.
You're also talking about a AAA company that's got quite the resume. It's different than Compulsive or an Exile.
Yeah. Hold on. Eli Chun says, will Microsoft throw money so they can be successful? Yeah. I mean, apparently these guys have a good amount of money invested in them now. I think that could be a difference maker, is that these companies like in Exile and stuff and even Compulsion Games had to crowdfund to get their games made in the past. And now they basically don't have to do that. But they do have, unfortunately, obligations with these games. So I think Predator sent me some information regarding Bard's Tale and Wasteland 3. Some kind of things. And we and him were talking about that in DMs earlier in the week. There's some kind of stuff being filed now. Microsoft might be showing off those games at E3. Again, those mean absolutely nothing to me because I don't think there's a lot of people. Yeah, there's nothing that people are going to be lining up for to play Wasteland 3 or Bard's Tale 4 on Xbox One, or those could be going in at Game Pass day and date. That's whoop-de-doo to me. You know, and I think most people, because those aren't exactly, you know, something to people, but those are fodder for Game Pass. But again, those are also multi-plat.
So. Crap, those things. My bad. I just want to say those games right there. If you look at it now, they're under first party. I haven't seen anything about them expanding their studios or anything like that. But if that happens, you can easily have a smaller team within the studio working on those types of games and have them reach whatever schedule that they have in mind within, you know, that dev team while still working on something else. You know what I'm saying? They're not hinged by not having.
Those games have been in production for a while, though. They're not like new. They're just
listen. Look, check this out. They have to be able, right, to make Game Pass appealing as they want to make it, right? Because to me right now, it's not really that appealing to me. You know what I'm saying?
It is to me, though.
At face value, it is, but it can be better. At face value, yes, it is. It's a good value, $10 a month. But what's in there? It's not really that great. Not to me. If they're gonna put smaller titles like that, right? Get these studios like IO Interactive, right? They can make these episodic games. What Hitman? Maybe bring back Kane and Lynch on some episodic shit and do that and put them in Game Pass. That might drive up the value of Game Pass for somebody like me. Something that I wouldn't buy, but I might be interested in playing. And
I would like more. When I say episodic, I'm with Knox on that. I wouldn't necessarily say anything like Telltale. That's not my bag. But you know, you get into, right? But if you get into something where, like, I think we were saying, like Halo Spartan Ops, right? Let's say that ends up being something that's a sub story of Halo, and it ends up being something that's episodic. Man, how great would that be? Or a part of Gears where it's not part of the core group or core foundation. They did something side off of that came out every 2 months. Holy crap, man! Is that worth having Game Pass for? Right?
You know what else is worth having Game Pass for is just continuing playing the multiplayer in those games. If you're a multiplayer guy,
yeah, that's.
So I mean, like, it's not. They don't have to twist anyone's arm here.
No,
literally 2 games a year pays for the entire year of Game Pass. So just with the exclusives alone, it pays for itself like 3 times over, and they've only added more studios, which is going to be more games, and the third-party content is getting in there sooner, and it's better content. Like, if it's not for you, it's not for you.
That's what
but it is a value service, bar none.
Like I said, yes, at face value, absolutely, it is. It's a great service at face value. It's affordable. It's reasonable. If it's for you, it's for you.
Well, really,
I could still enjoy Game Pass for the price of two lattes a year. Right. If you're doing it for the price of 2 games a year, I'll do it for 2 lattes. $10 when I feel like it.
Yo, Knox, how long were you thinking about your 2 latte analogy?
Oh no, I just thought of that shit right now.
Shoot. Knox makes a good point, and I mean, and that's the one thing that I always say to Shady. You know, the beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? So hear me out for a second. Like, Captain Marvel came out. You've got the Avengers, okay? You've got Star Wars this year. And you know, everybody on Twitter is like, oh, I'm going to see this movie 8 times in IMAX, right? And that's $20 a seat. Like, people are going and spending $20 seeing the same movie 3 times. That's fine. That's their money, right? That's $60. That doesn't include the ultra large 2-liter soda they're getting with ice for $15, and the popcorn that they can sit in and eat their way out of it for another $20, right? For each sitting. You do all the math for those 3 movies they go see 3 times, you got yourself a console. But people are like, I'm only buying 1 console. I'll put my foot down this side. You know, it's like, they'll only buy 1 console, but they'll spend the same $250 on 3 movies. My point being is that everyone's like, for the price of 2 games, you can have Game Pass. Well, that goes for, you could also, for the price of 2 games, have Hulu for a year or Netflix for a year. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do for that. The problem is the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So it depends on what market they're going for. And personally, I think they're going for the wrong market. I'm finding more hardcore. And that's why you see the people that are defending Game Pass are more of the hardcore, and you don't see the casuals picking up on it. And that's the one thing that I keep saying.
Thank you for the compliment, Mooch.
You're welcome, buddy. I gotta pay a bill real quick. Gotham Guy says whether or not compulsion games in Exile Studios will churn out games we know. Playground Games, Ninja Theory, The Initiative, and Obsidian will be. 4 studios is still better than 0. I'm not greedy. I'm not greedy either. I just think that a lot of these things, like the Ninja Theory, is going to be a good dark horse because they're not tied to an IP, so they're allowed to. They can do what they want. Playground Games, they're going to be doing Forza Horizon games, and it looks like Fable games. The Initiative, who knows? That could be it. They got some great talent though, so I'm very optimistic there. Obsidian, I love them. I just wonder when we're going to see something from them since they're tied up with Outer Worlds right now, and I don't have any interest in Fallout from space. As you guys join in, please. It looks like Fallout in space to me, and I'm not interested. Sorry. If you guys join in just now, please like the video and share it out. I would appreciate that. Get it on social media. Let people know we're live. I'd like to get over 100 likes real quick. I would really appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Of course, in Exile, they recently posted they are growing. They're increasing their studio by 30%. He says they said they're not trying to become multi-100-person teams, but just filling the holes that they've been desperately wanting to. A full-time audio person, a full-time lighting person, cinematics person. Yeah, so basically that's what they're doing now. They're able to do more. They're getting bigger. They have an unannounced game apparently, but I doubt that that's going to be shown at E3. But it is still nice to kind of see that. One of these other leaks that I saw and I was talking about was, which I don't think that this might not be an E3 leak, but apparently there's talk going around that Xbox Anaconda and Lockhart supposedly releasing Friday, November 20th, 2020, and it has something to do with marketing with power of 20 and 20, right? Like the 20. Get it?
Yeah, it's kind of like when Skyrim did the 11-11-11.
Yeah, or how
what
did 9-9-9-9.
What would be the 20 part though?
I have no idea. This is just something that is a rumor going around.
There's no way it's 20 like 20 T-flops or something.
No, it's the 20th month of the year, bot. I mean, what planet do you live on?
Yeah, the 20th month of the year. Yeah, on our misprinted calendars. But I mean, here's the thing, because there's rumors that Sony might launch a couple weeks before that. Which they did with the PS4.
That's not bad.
People like kind of jump on that when they launch early, though. A lot of people don't like to wait, and so if you're only going to get one, you might get the one that comes out first. Obviously Microsoft still wants to get in there in time for like the Black Friday crowd, but I think that this could be one of those interesting things that.
I saw your video on that crap. It makes a good point, and I'll be honest with you. Listen, again, for the hardcore, a lot of you guys that are hardcore listening now or listening later, you're going to go, no. I'll buy them both. What's a week and a half's difference? Absolutely. I think everybody in the panel would agree with that. If you're going to buy both, you're going to buy both. It doesn't matter if it's a week, 2 weeks, even maybe up to 3. But there are a lot of people that, maybe they did have, let's just say $1,000 set aside, right, for 2 consoles. They go buy one for $500. All of a sudden, 3 weeks later, who knows? 2 tires are flat, or this and that happens. You never know what goes on. And all of a sudden, you're like, I'm not going to buy the one later on. Or it gets a little bit closer to Christmas. You're like, man, I really could use that $500 on family or something else. My point being is, I do think that if Microsoft's listening, and if it's within their means, I would, at the very least, come out the same day as the PS5. Maybe the next day. You can't be 3. If Sony's planning a 1st, 2nd, 3rd of November release, you really can't be 3 weeks later. You
think there's a lot of guys that are going to make an entire generation choice off of 3 weeks? Those are impulse buyers. If they're going to impulse buy this, they'll impulse buy an Xbox somewhere down the line when they see
Shady, can I ask you a question? I think you make a good point, but let me ask you a question. This isn't something that they've been thinking. They didn't come up with the Anaconda last week. Okay,
no, I know. I'm just saying, like, when you're looking for a 5-year generation, you're going to take 3 weeks to make a break.
Listen, you know what, though? Listen, Shady, I got news for you. If we've learned, I try to learn from history, okay? And the first to 10 million, man, that's a big deal. And if you can get a jump start of 1 million sold in 3 weeks, man, it hurts. That's
I'm with you. Like, if they're going to release it on the 21st or the 20th, why wouldn't they be able to move it forward 3 weeks? What the hell are they doing with that
why
last
not bring
3
it
weeks?
up? Try to
why
bring it
not?
up. Why not?
I hear you.
They've been planning this for so long, Shady. I couldn't fathom why they couldn't bump it up. Don't give me this crap where we're trying to make a cool bumper sticker, 2020 and 20. Get out of here. Nobody cares.
When this generation started, they were a week apart, right? If I'm not mistaken, they were exactly a week apart, right?
Yeah.
That probably
One
would
was
be the
cheaper,
minimum.
That
one
was
had more
fine.
power.
That's fine. I mean,
Yeah, that's
listen,
what I'm saying. That's the minimum right there.
a week apart is fine. Then you're splitting hairs. I mean, realistically, I think a week is just fine. That's them strategically trying to get each of their campaigns out with enough room to breathe. I get that. That's fine. And like Shady says, that's not going to break the bank in either condition for any kind of consumer. But I mean, 3-4 weeks, if it's just unheard of and it's ridiculous. You're planning for this. You know what your competitor's doing. And 3 weeks, 4 weeks could result in $1 million. A quick million being you could see the PS4 crowd out there. They're drooling for a PS5, and so the Xbox One folks. They really want the Anaconda. So whoever goes out there is going to spend some money immediately.
Yeah, they're gonna go get it. It's gonna be a week apart, but I don't.
I think so too.
Most people are gonna buy what they already have. It's because their ecosystem.
Well, that couldn't be any more the truth. I'm telling you right now.
And then after that, it's gonna be based off of price, availability.
And games.
Yeah. So like if the Xbox comes out more expensive and it's hard to find and they got shitty games, then they're gonna go with, oh, the PlayStation 5 has like 30 games over here, and there's 800 systems sitting on the shelf and it's here in the store. So like, and then word of mouth, because that word of mouth for that 1 week will do a lot. We've already lost the mind share, but people get that PlayStation 5, a week before 3 weeks before the Xbox One, whatever the hell it's going to be called, Anaconda, whatever edition. They get it 3 weeks earlier. That all you're going to see on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and social media is PlayStation 5 this, PlayStation 5 that, et cetera. And they're going to completely forget about it because they're going to pick one because it's out earlier.
Once it's in your head and you start hearing about it, you start getting that in the back of your mind, right? That's what happened to me with the PS4, to be honest with you. Like, I had an Xbox One first, and then you start hearing everybody talking about PS4 and 1080p and this, and you get that, in the back of your mind. You're like, maybe there's a big difference there, and they got some games coming up. I might as well get one.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Don't knock it till you try it, Mooch, right?
Whatever you do.
That's basically what happened. Yeah, that's basically what happened to me when I originally got my PS4 as well. And then obviously I've come to really enjoy it. The latter half of this generation has done really fantastic in terms of the games that they put out. I feel like Microsoft has to get things right with their next hardware. Like, you can't have, every day I get message from people going, hey, crap, how do I fix this on my Xbox dashboard? It doesn't read my external hard drive, but it reads it on my other Xbox, but not this one. Are you in the preview program? Yeah. Well, you got to do this and this. Like, all of a sudden I'm this tech guy again, right? You've got to get that. You've got to have that dashboard right. Next gen, I feel like you've got to
that UI has to.
Yeah, it's got to be different. They've got to do something. I don't know. It's like mixing the UI, like how it's the same on PC and X. I don't know if that works well enough for the console. So you got to get that right. The more time I've spent on PlayStation 4 recently, the more I just realize it's simple and effective. You know what I mean? It's nothing flashy, but it works. And I can, it's funny is because
they copied 360. That's what they did.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's exactly what they did. That's what Microsoft needs to do. Go back to 360, dude. You had it right already. You already had it right.
Not only did they copy the UI from 360, they copied the entire playbook of the 360.
The whole thing.
Exactly.
Always.
Exactly. So also we get some news. Sony actually is revealing quite a bit of PlayStation 5 news. PlayStation 5 won't be coming out within the next 12 months, which means they're most likely going to launch early November of 2020. Remember, Mooch, we were all kind of going, well, maybe they'll jump Microsoft and announce something for March or April. Nope. Not going to happen. Nope. It's going to be a November launch for them as well. This is unusual for Sony to come out and announce stuff so early. Usually they have their own kind of deal, but I think that the fact that they have no real events planned for this year so far, just those state of plays and things like that. I think you have to keep your, the fans abreast and people, just that little bit of news. And Cerny didn't really say much, but he said enough to totally dominate the gaming industry and the news for a week, So,
and they have a new regime too. You have to keep that in mind. So they're doing things a little differently. That's not typically Sony. So keep that in mind going forward from this podcast on, that some of the stuff you see from them may be a little bit out of context for what they've done in the past.
It's a good point, Fred.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just responding to Z Black Rider with the Pornhub comment. No, I would like. Does that work with PlayStation VR? I've got to know. You know, I haven't tested that out yet. But I'll have to look into that. But Mooch, what do you think about this? I mean, these things are going to be launching pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
As much as we think Microsoft doesn't really care about these generations and things like that, doesn't it seem like the fact that they're going to have another console come out so soon after the X proved that maybe they do care a little bit more than what people believe?
I think they do. And it's funny. I'm glad you kind of brought this subject back around full circle, because the one question that I think I have, and I don't know if anyone on the panel has an answer, but I think that I don't know if I don't really have an answer. The question I have is are they going to make the Anaconda affordable? That's how I can answer your question, Crap, because if this thing goes toe-to-toe with the PS5, and there's rumor that the PS5 and Sony's going to take a hit on the price to lure the consumer in for that powerful console, if Xbox has a more powerful console, and they're like, no, we are the bigger company, or we have the more powerful console, ours is also, let's just use the magic number of 500. People seem to agree with that for a conversation. If they're both 500, then the answer to your question, Crap, is absolutely. Microsoft is actually in this dogfight, and they really want a piece of that pie again that they lost out on this generation. If we find out, I'm using hypothetical numbers here, folks, but at the PS5, I'm 12 teraflops, okay, for 500, and the Anaconda is 14 teraflops, and there's more to it than just the teraflops, folks, but just for conversation, 14 for 600 or plus. Well, then it goes back to the conversation of Microsoft's giving you, in the generation of options, a category of options for you to pick, and whatever fits you best for your consumer needs is what they have for you. And at that point, they don't care if you're playing Lockhart, they don't care if you're playing Anaconda, or they don't care if you're playing it on PC. And we know that. That's kind of been their stance right now. So I guess, in short, I answer your question with a question. The answer to your question is are they going to be competitive? If they're competitive, then yeah, they want to be in that fight. If they're going to go ahead and have something that's 600, 650, 700, yes, it's a beast. But at the same time, then you have the PS5 will win that war, because what happens is the Lockhart's slightly lower than the PS5, the Anaconda slightly more powerful. But it's almost like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. The one in the middle is just right, because the point of the matter is that it's got the power and the price. And that's what it comes down to right now. Realistically, once you have the console in your house, then it comes down to games. But before you get home and play the games, you know what it comes down to? Your wallet. And, Sergio in the chat, he goes, well, come on, what's this debate all about? Aren't we all going to buy both of them? Again, Sergio, it depends on who you're listening to or who your audience is. The hardcore, yes, but not everybody can afford
$1,200 for two consoles. Right? Right? Like, that's just not feasible. And then Microsoft has a little bit of a wild card, given the fact that they have the possibility that you could still play the newer games on your X or possibly even your S. Who the hell knows?
That's going to be an interesting thing to see, too.
Very, very much a wild card, because I think you could see some people, and this is not hating on Xbox, that hold off on getting a next-gen Xbox because they can play their games on their current stuff and go PS5 at first, right?
Well, let's be honest, Crap. You think Halo Infinite's going to look awful on your X? It's not.
I think it's going to be 4K 60 on the X.
It's going to look great on your X.
I doubt it'll be 60.
100%, man. It's going to be 60.
They sacrifice resolution for 60 frames per second.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. It's not going to be 4K 60. If it's 4K 30, they could go for 1440.
Dynamic resolution, people.
Yeah.
But check this out, though. It's a new engine that they're building specifically, supposedly, for the X.
True.
But also, you have to keep in mind, look at Gears 5, right? They're already saying 4K 60 on the X on both single and multiplayer.
Oh, you can lock that in.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that at all. But then again,
for what game?
For Gears 5. 4K 60.
That'll be awesome.
Exactly. So
you can lock that in.
Yeah, like here's the thing. Rod and the Coalition are probably, I know, like this probably might be controversial, might be their best developers. Like what they were able to do with the original Xbox hardware, getting 1080-60 on the multiplayer and 1080-30 on that brick of a VCR box that launched this generation, incredible. They put out a really good Gears game, a very good Gears game, just more of the same though, and they had to do that. I understand why. But they did that in a very short amount of time. Now they have a longer time, bigger budget, more people, yes, Gears is going to definitely be great on the X, and I think that Halo Infinite is going to be. And what do they got? Like 500 people working on Infinite. I definitely think they could get close to 4K or dynamic scale in 4K 60, and then on the Anaconda or whatever, it'd be 4K 60. But you're not going to see a huge big difference there. You know what I mean? So people will be able to enjoy what's coming to the Xbox without upgrading their console right away, and I think that's going to be playing into the next gen as well.
Crap, the thing with that, and the reason why I think they're doing the forwards compatibility, playing the games on the X, possibly the S, but still kind of like promoting the power narrative when it comes to the next series of hardware and everything. I think that they want to grab mindshare, and for people who don't care about power, they're giving them the option of playing on the system that they might possibly already have. For people who care about power, they have the crown in that area. We see them buying studios, rumors of buying more studios and stuff like that. So for people who are thinking, well, they're not going to have first party, you guys, you might think that the last couple of years have been light, but you can see them investing in the future of the platform. It's all about mindshare. That's what they really crave at the end of the day. They're going to sell software. They're going to have forwards compatibility. The money's going to come in. The developers are going to be developing more games, everything like that, but they want to have that mind share back where you go out in the street and you ask a gamer, hey, what are you playing on? Yeah, well, I'm playing on Xbox X because I don't really care about the new series of hardware and they're offering me the newer games. Or I'm playing on the Anaconda because damn that performance and all that good stuff. Or I can stream the games through my Game Pass to my phone. I can anywhere I want to go, any way I want to play. And that's what they're aiming for right there. It's the mind share of multiple categories of gamers.
Yeah, and I get that they're going to do, obviously, look, Xbox isn't going anywhere. I know a lot of people think otherwise. No, I think Xbox isn't going anywhere. They're going to continue to make hardware. They're going to continue to do that kind of stuff. Realistically, it just comes down to kind of where you want to play your stuff at. And obviously, even with sagging hardware sales, because let's be honest, down 33% year on year, you're only 2 years into the X, a mid-gen refresh, the most powerful console. So that is a bit staggering when you see that they've kind of lost the decline in the hardware sales. It kind of brings me into the next bit of topic is they did decline 33%. Do you guys think people are waiting for next gen, or they just not want an Xbox? Are they waiting for that reset button to totally hit? Because obviously, I mean, they're making money. Software sales are up. Services are up. Maybe that's why Microsoft's going in that direction. But is that worrying to you guys that the sales declined at a steep rate? And it's still relatively early for the X. It just came out in 2017. Yeah. We're not even we're a year and a half into that cycle.
Crap. I think it's a combination of both, to be really honest with you. I mean, you're hearing news come out about PlayStation 5, and you're seeing let's be honest here. There's a lot of people on social media. So if you're a gamer, you're following different like gaming type Twitter pages and stuff like that. So you're hearing information. People are saying the Anaconda is more powerful. The hype train is gaining speed for the next generation. But then you also have the whole stigma of Xbox has no games, and people are also hearing that whole thing. I know people have been disappointed the last couple of years with the offerings. Me personally, not so much. But you got all that rolled together. So yeah, people are kind of like turning away. Well, I'm not going to get an Xbox now. But then you also have people like, well, I'm not getting one now, but let's see what they have coming in 2020. They should be talking about stuff in, a little over a month or so, month and a half, something like that.
Well, Xbot, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like where you're going with this, and that's you almost sound like Microsoft PR. I gotta be. That was pretty good, actually. I'd hire you. Yeah. You're better.
You can't do worse than what they got.
Remember that moves when you need PR, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. I got you on speed dial, Xbot. I gotta be honest with you. I think the only reason that's debunked, and I won't even use Microsoft or Sony. I mean, there's rumors that there's going to be a more powerful and less powerful Switch coming out later on this year, and Switch is selling like hotcakes. So you've got the most powerful console. We just got done with a segment where we just said Gears 5 is going to hit 4K 60. So there's a lot of people right now that can get an X.
Well, you're gonna get a bump up. you're gonna get a bump up once people see the new gears and everything like that.
Well, there's always a bump
oh,
up around the holidays, so yeah.
Well, that too. I mean, but there's always, like, you know, and people when they see the Gears 5 and stuff like that, you know, people who maybe didn't invest in the Xbox this generation, you know, they saw Gears 4 and they could have said the same thing that Crap said. Well, it just looks like the same old thing. I'm pretty happy where I am right now, and then moving forward. But if they really show 20 times bigger, all that good stuff that, you know, the coalition is talking about, that could also fuel people to be like, you know what, I got to get in on this now.
Well, listen, I mean, Xbox, the games always push hardware. I get that. You know, I mean,
I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to give you all some economics 101 real quick. All right, so we're at the end of the generation. Everybody who wants a PlayStation has a PlayStation.
Yes, I was going to say that shit.
That wants an Xbox has an Xbox. Yeah. And even the people who are on the fence right now, who haven't decided on either one, with the exception of maybe Days Gone coming out, there's no really like anything that's going to push you to buy either console.
Yeah, they got to put them on sale. Once they go on sale, holiday season this year, they're going to go on sale. That's going to drive sales up. You're going to put games like Spider-Man and Days Gone on sale on PlayStation, and you know, I don't know, Microsoft can give shit away on Xbox and they'll buy it.
I mean, look, we got
go ahead. Yeah, you could get their shit on Game Pass, so they could just give shit away.
Well, you know,
3 months Xbox Live and some Game Pass.
$199 is proven to be the casual price point, and that's why these things sell so well at that price point. So if Sony does indeed announce a $199 PS4 Super Slim, it makes sense, and that is a very casual price point. Even more of a price point than the SAT edition Xbox, which at $250 is just insane. I know they claim it'll be $50 cheaper, but still, it's only available in certain places. Yeah. And even at those certain places, the pre-order is just as much, if not more, than the regular S.
People who are picking up the Super Slim or even the Xbox One X, what is it? What do they call the SAT edition?
The SAT is Sade or whatever.
Sade edition. Like, what are they getting extra out of what they already have? Like,
yeah,
to me,
nothing. They're losing. They're not getting.
I don't have a PlayStation Pro. I have the Slim. Yeah. But what am I getting if I pick up the Super Slim out of the Slim that I have?
Nothing. No, it's not for you, Pred. It's not for you. It's for the people
who never got one.
Yeah, it's for the people
it's the casual sweet spot. And I mean, if it's going to come out MSRP at $199 around Christmas, that's probably going to be around $175, $160 on other deals you see on Amazon, right? Well, the same thing probably goes for the Sade.
They could bundle it, right? Like, think about this. And we're seeing rumors of Last of Us 2 releasing this year. I don't know if that's true or not. But if it does, couldn't they bundle Last of Us 2 with Last of Us 1 remastered and sell it for $199 and watch people just go crazy over it?
They could bundle God of War with that.
Yeah.
And it would go crazy.
And Spider-Man, right? Like they
did that last holiday.
And they can do it again this
time. They can, but I'm saying I would think like they would do what Pred said, or maybe even, you know, like give The Last of Us and God of War. Last of Us right now,
Microsoft's like, hey, here's Sea of Thieves and Forza Horizon, and you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's hard to compare really because Microsoft hasn't put out like their big bangers, although they do got Gears, and I'm hopeful they release a custom console. And
that'd be nice.
And a collector's edition.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten every Gears collector's edition. If they screw me out of that,
Gears collector's edition, I would be in, but being so close to the end of the generation and already having X's in the house, I wouldn't buy another custom. That's me.
You say that, but they just did that with fucking Minecraft. They did a Minecraft bundle, and they came out with the X around the same.
Yeah, but the X is the same generation. This is a generational leap, and I would not buy a third Xbox One X that's red at this point.
Again, I will not be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either. I just said I wouldn't purchase it.
Yeah, hold on. I got to pay some bills. Pharaoh Pyromancer says Microsoft has been hyping power for 2 years. That alone hasn't helped them sell consoles. So next gen, you're hearing the same narrative that most gamers don't care. Like Nintendo, it's all about the games with Sony. You know, I don't think. Yeah. I mean, listen. To be honest with you guys, and this is just me putting on a neutral hat. It's all about whatever Sony's doing best at the time. Sony was doing 1080p at the beginning of the generation, and multiplat's better. That's what mattered. Now they're doing exclusives better. That's what matters. It's realistically, the industry loves Sony. Sony has more fans. online, off whatever. That's just the fact. Microsoft is going to continue to chug along, and eventually they'll prove or not that they have what it takes and they can compete in the game market. It's a shame that I feel like, in my opinion, they're trying to branch out a little bit too much without having proven that they can have quality content outside of Gears, Forza, and Halo. And this generation has kind of proven that to me, is that if it's not those games, they don't invest in marketing. They don't invest money in the games themselves. And that, I think, they are changing that, but I feel like they haven't changed it quick enough in this generation. Like, they go through a whole generation with almost nothing of note worthwhile from their first party that's new, and that's a bit of a shame. And Pedro Yipson says, and that's why Xbox needs first-party games and third-party exclusive and custom consoles, which I agree as well. I think next gen, like Mooch, don't you think next gen, like, it's going to come down to the games? I think at first, right?
Yeah,
I think that's why Sony's intentionally holding stuff back a little bit. So
that's exactly why they're holding back.
Yeah.
They don't want to. They know Microsoft. Listen, Microsoft launching with Halo Infinite is a juggernaut. That is, it's a massive IP that's their $1 billion franchise. That's their big boy. And listen, it's going to be nothing short of spectacular. All right, I'm nowhere near the Halo fan that XBot 448 is, and I can tell you right now that I'm excited as all get out for that. So Sony looks at that, they see what's going on. They know they're both going to be launching within, I believe, 7 to 10 days of each other, respectively. At that point in time, what do? You can't just have, whatever it was called there. You can't have just a space racer like Super R-Type, whatever that was that they came out with. You have to have a big boy. So I don't know if it'll be The Last of Us 2. I still think that comes out end of this generation, very similar to what they did in the last generation. And then what they'll do is they can also bundle a PS5 with that. If the game makes uber money under the PS4 umbrella, why not just put that into a bundle? That's just a great deal for Sony. On top of that, you have Death Stranding, Ghosts. There's just a plethora of games, right? So they'll launch with those two to go with The Last of Us 2 remastered, if you will, or whatever, PS5 enhanced, to go head-to-head against
I keep hearing behind closed doors, for some rhyme or reason, it's not going away, and I'm still waiting, before I like put it on my channel or anything like that. But Horizon Zero Dawn 2, in terms of launch for the PS5, that rumor hasn't gone away yet.
There's a perfect window. It's perfect enough. There's enough time.
They don't. Hypothetically, though, Xbox, with what we know they still have in their war chest, they don't need to do that, and I don't think they will. I just don't, because they've got 4 games right now dangling over everybody's head that they have no release date for. They don't need to do that. So
yeah. Here they're going to show that at E3 next year when Sony comes back. This is why I say it's imperative for Microsoft to knock it out of the park this E3, because next year Sony's going to be coming with Dreams Part 3. What I mean by that is, remember when they did the real schmarmy stuff, like they brought the Shenmue guy up there. They did the Last Guardian. They showed Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, Horizon Zero Dawn released February 28th, 2017. Technically, it was supposed to release in 2016. So almost 4 years old. That's probably plenty of time. You already have the engine. They use the Decima engine or whatever. The voice actress already confirmed that it's going to be better than the first one and great and all this stuff. So we know it's coming. It just, and again, this is one of the things that Microsoft is going to have to compete with, because Sony took this chance with this game, right? This company usually just did Killzone games, and they let them do an RPG. And me and Mooch were like mocking it. And again, it's not my pick game.
I will say,
as hell and looks gorgeous, but for me, it was a little bit boring.
I will say, Horizon Zero Dawn is a better game than Killzone Shadowfall. I will.
Oh yeah, I'll give you that.
I enjoy Horizon Zero Dawn, bro. I finished it.
I got so bored with that game.
I couldn't play more than, I think I got like 6 hours in.
And I was making fun of.
I couldn't play
fun of Mooch when he first started saying, how it's repetitive. I was saying, well, Mooch, all games are repetitive.
It's not just the repetitive. I don't care for this. The story. You notice that any kind of NPC you go talk to, there's 75 options for each one, and they're so not interesting.
They're stone-faced. They are stone-faced.
Yeah, it was just blah, 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 blah. And it's funny because Days Gone got criticized for its story. I prefer to listen to that story than you know, having we need you to go over. We need a basket of fruit. Where 7 sons to the left. What? I don't. What? I don't. Huh? Like it lost me. Plus, I mean, it was just like literally. I mean, it didn't grab me. That doesn't mean that the game wasn't polished. Like Crap said, the game was polished. The game's well made. It didn't rope me in. I mean, but there's people who are writing me all week long, like, "Oh, Mooch, you're enjoying Days Gone because you like zombies." That's true. That's true. I don't like collecting apples in a basket. That's also true.
Guys in the chat, yeah, I got bored with Horizon Zero Dawn, and no, Crackdown didn't bore me. It's way more fast-paced. You got explosions going on all over the place. You have multiple enemies coming at you, a lock-on system, crazy-ass guns.
Dude,
it didn't bore me.
I got, somewhere around, I don't know, 30 hours, almost 650 or 700 gamer score on Crackdown 3. Crackdown 3 is a hashtag fun game. Is that a game that I think you should, like, run people over to get to the store and buy? Probably not. But
what's the opposite of fun? Boring.
It's a fun game, man. I enjoyed Crackdown 3, but that's, again, everything comes down to personal taste. I get that. But I think when we're talking about quality games, getting back to your main subject, Crap, yes, I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn was a polished game and very well made. That being said, I don't think that you will see Horizon Zero Dawn as a launch 2 as a launch title.
I think it'll come out in 2021.
2021, yes.
Yeah, I feel like Sony's going to be very smart with how they release their stuff. They always do that, man. Like, that's one thing about Sony. You can never really go, oh, well, it's definitely going to be a huge win for Xbox here, because every time I've thought that, Sony comes out and does something and announces something and basically steals the Xbox thunder.
Right.
Yeah, just right out from under them. That's why I said it's super important for Microsoft to do really good this E3. And hey, we got over 550 watching. Please like the video, guys. Share it out. You don't got to be stingy, man. We're having a good show. Got a lot of great topics to still talk about. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Please do that. It's like I said, man, it's going to be really great. Sony reveals that 2018-2019 is their most profitable year ever for PlayStation. Almost 37 million paying PlayStation Plus subscribers, and 700,000 PlayStation Now users. I was surprised they announced those numbers because those numbers aren't great considering that PlayStation Now has been out since 2014. 700,000. They say users. I don't know if that's like paying users or what. You know,
talking about console sold or shit like that. Like,
that's like that. That's not. That's
going back. They're going to the Microsoft.
That's not a lot though. 700,000. You know, you got almost 100 million consoles out there, and less than a million people using this streaming service that you paid 400 million for. Again, I've said all along. And I know that it's not a great streaming service, but it's still a streaming service. And, you know, some people have said it's not too bad if you have really good internet. I don't. I've tried it a couple times.
There's queues to play the games. That kills it for me instantly. Imagine Netflix had a queue to watch a movie. Sorry, you have to wait till someone's done watching that movie.
Netflix is busy canceling all the shows I like. Damn, Santa Clarita Diet. That was a good show, man. I love that show. And now they canceled. Yeah, they cancel everything, man. Punisher, all the shows that I watch. You know, that's disappointing. And I'm flip-flopping, guys. I used to be a Netflix fan and now I'm not. Time to hate on me. Start to make some memes about Crapgamer, how he's flip-flopping, guys.
Time to get on Disney, man. Come on, get on Disney.
I'm all in on Disney, man. Give me that Infinity Gauntlet. You know what I'm saying? I'm all in. So yeah, you know, like I just think that it's really gonna be interesting how this kind of works out. But I'm very surprised that they announced how many people they have paying as PlayStation Plus members, 37 million. That's less than half of their install base, but still, it's a huge number. And 700,000 PlayStation Now users. Mooch, did this surprise you at all? Because they're like making a ton of money and PlayStation Now is really low. Do you find it odd that like Microsoft and all these companies are kind of going into streaming at a time when like I said, it doesn't look like this stuff is setting the world on fire? Like Stadia, the only people I hear talking about Stadia is Google.
Yeah.
Like nobody's like, holy crap, we got to get on Stadia, right? Like I see a Stadia article once a week, but it's Google talking about how everybody's excited about it. And I'm looking around like, who the hell is excited?
Yeah, it's not, and this isn't a me thing or a Crap Gamer thing or even a panel thing. I think you're seeing a lot of people, some of the NPD folks were saying it. A couple other people that are in the gaming media were kind of saying it. They were saying that, you know, streaming at this point when it releases is another viable option for gamers, but it doesn't look to be a replacement for what we're currently doing in the near future.
It was
So,
never meant as that, so that's not a bad thing.
well, you're right. You're right. Unless if you said that and you worked for Google, you would have just got your pink slip. You know, because I mean, they're banking on it being their whole thing.
Well, that's
So,
Google.
right.
You're right with Google, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you're right though, Shady. I never felt that way. I feel like we're in the generation of options. They're just throwing another option. But, you know, myself personally, I was actually very excited when Play Anywhere was something that was supposed to be something massive out of Xbox. And I thought when I had a gaming PC, I'd be able to play my game on my Xbox. Then when my family wanted to watch TV in the family room, I can come into the office and pick up the game here. Guess what? Unless it's the first party studio game or the first year they announced it, those 3 or 4 titles, there's just not any games that are doing that. And it seems like that became less and less the norm and the less viable option for people when they couldn't sit in front of their TVs. So, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and go down that whole rope again. That's boring to sit there and say, listen, if you're the type of person that wants to play Halo Infinite on your phone or tablet, by all means, I say go for it. They're going to give you that option.
Mooch.
But realistically, I don't think you're going to get anyone that listens to this podcast do it more than a few times, maybe a year, and that's just to try it out for the most part, or where they're in dire straits.
Mooch, what Google did was Google pulled a Microsoft.
They did.
Instead of having like a mid-tier, kind of like a mid-level where they have like hardware or something like that, they just went all out in terms of, you know, streaming games and stuff like that. You know, Microsoft, they have been known to look too far into the future and to bring it to today, and you know, consumers will kind of like turn it down or whatnot. And then eventually, a few years later, when all like the competition is doing just about the same thing, it's because the consumers actually kind of caught up to that feature, that idea, that technology. And I feel like with Google, with them not coming out with some type of box, you know, console, something like that, not having that middle kind of that middle
Even if they had a
there,
stream, even if they had a stream box, Xbox,
even if it was it's a box that you could put next to, you know, whatever console you have, you can put it next to your TV.
Yep.
It's kind of like that comfort feeling that something's there, and they don't have that. And since they don't have that, that's why nobody's talking about it.
I really was looking forward to that announcement as something to be like, wow, here we go. This is going to be the big thing. It's the whole thing with buying, you know, xCloud through hopefully they have some sort of a box or device, you know, the size of an Apple TV, nothing massive. Doesn't need to be that big. And when I saw they had no actual physical hardware except for the controller, I said, oh, here we go again. It just kind of felt like, all right, it's another option. It's an option, but I don't. Go ahead,
that whole streaming nonsense. That shit. Listen, I tried that. I tried it with the PS4 and the Vita, right? I bought a Vita for that because I wanted to stream Destiny, right? I thought, hey, when I'm on my break,
that's for remote play. It's actually different.
Yeah, but I mean, but the shit basically is the same function, though.
They have ways where you can stream it like farther away.
I get that, but I mean, I just didn't enjoy it, bro. I did not enjoy the way that it played. I mean, hopefully if they can figure that out, it could be something really,
it's an option. It's an option for everybody. You know, you can't really take that away from anybody. And listen, I got news for you. There's times, you know, you travel for work and you're on the road. That's magnificent that you can open up a laptop with Windows 10 on it and just start to enjoy all your games and play your games everywhere, whether it be with Google or Microsoft services, up to you. That's a fantastic option. But for the most part, when all of us do the same thing, whether it's school, work, etc., you come home, you know, more than likely, I have a PC rig here. I can come over and play Google Stadia. Nah, I'm probably going to go over and sit on my couch and play it on my big screen on a dedicated piece of hardware, and also play it with, you know, better resolution and better frames per second. I mean, it's just it seems like the smarter thing to do, but like, to have the option is outstanding. I mean, you can't take that away from them.
So you're saying when you get your 8K TV,
yes,
with streaming service added to it, that Google Stadia won't be a player?
Well, when will Google Stadia give me 8K?
Or even
2035?
Probably coming out of the box with it, but no one's going to buy a fucking 8K TV right now. But I'm just like, My
I don't
biggest
want to
thing-
see
if
people
Ted-
sweating in movies and
if-
their pores.
Yeah, right. I don't care
Man,
about that.
If
I don't
we've had
care.
Brad, if we've had developers like the Don and others on, and people that have been out and outspoken in social media saying that 12 and 14 teraflops is going to have a hard time giving us 4K 60 consistently
I'm
on
not
open world
arguing
games,
with you, Mooch.
then
I'm being
10.7.
sarcastic with
Oh,
the
I know
question.
exactly. I'm with you. I know you are. Then there's no way 10.7 is giving me 8K anything. Yeah, agree.
But
No, I'm
I
with you,
do
Brad.
see, like, okay, if they can do 4K 60 streaming on a TV, my cat is playing with a toy right now. So if y'all hear some,
Shut that damn cat up.
I mean, like, if they can, but again, if they can do it, so can everybody else.
Right.
And everybody else has games. They have an ecosystem. They have friends list. They have, like, so that's my biggest thing about the Google thing. Like the Stadia thing is, like, you know, no one is invested in that yet. And you're asking me as a hardcore gamer on Xbox, on PC, and semi-hardcore on PlayStation and Switch to switch over to your device when I have Mooch, Nox, Crap, Shady, Nox, all y'all playing on Xbox.
Right.
I'm
Well,
not
Brad-
going there.
Brad, we said this when we were playing Anthem. Me and you,
Knox
seriously.
twice, man. How about that?
He's a big fan of Nox. Listen, I got this right.
I said Nox.
We be playing Anthem. Yeah,
We were playing Anthem, and I said to Pred, I said, Pred, is this a game that you are contemplating? Maybe I'll buy this on. We'll both play it. Finally, I'll play one game on my PC that I built. And he's like, you know what, Mooch, I probably will buy it on PC. But he goes, I'll tell you right now, I'm probably going to play it on Xbox because that's where everybody is. And I said, to be honest with you, that's where I want to play it. Because
And you know what? Stop. I'm going to stop you right there. What was our headache when we tried to play together?
the headache we tried to play together. Well, that was
Just
well,
talking. We couldn't even talk to each other. It took us like 3 days.
it was a pain in the ass.
Because we had to go do some, like, and I'm talking to the podcast right now and to everybody listening. Like, it literally took us a day or two just to get everything set up to play together because we couldn't get our friends list added. I couldn't get him added to mine, me added to his.
For some reason, it just wouldn't like
It wouldn't
connect.
add
It
us.
was having an issue. Then it was like we saw each other on there, but it wasn't linking. And
we
we're
couldn't
sitting
get the
there.
chat together. We had to use Xbox Live chat on
That's
PC
right. We
to
used
play the
Xbox
game
Live
together.
chat to play. And my point being here, and people in the chat are probably like, what are you guys talking? My point is that Google Stadia is going to come out and have all the issues that Microsoft and Sony had the first 8 years. They're going to have that. And I got news for you. I say this all the time when it comes to games. It goes for services too. I'm not in the mood for the growing pains. I'm
Nope.
done with the and that's what Crap was talking about earlier. Xbox, if you're listening, pick a UI and stick with it. We're not going to go through 18 renovations of you going through.
You know what sucks, Mooch, is because I watch Hulu a lot. That's my live TV, right? So people see me on Hulu, they make jokes. That's my live TV. I don't have cable or anything. So that when I'm on there, I'm usually just watching live TV. It crashes every time I load that app. Every time. Same thing with YouTube, man. I have to do a hard reset because it's like something went wrong. Wait a minute, and then restart it. Like that is way unacceptable for Xbox One X. Like here we are in 2019. I can't even load the damn app, so it's crazy. Mooch, this thing popped up again today. Forza Street, that game that's it's like a mobile game, but also on PC. Apparently, that's heading to the Nintendo Switch. And I reported on this a while ago. Remember, Mooch? And then people were like, well, you're wrong. Now it looks like this is going to be coming later this year to the Switch. Again, I want to point out, I don't particularly care about this game one way or the other.
You're bringing it up on principle.
Yeah. The only reason I care about it is because this is the game developed by Microsoft that's coming out on everything but the Xbox One. You know what I mean? Like
it is odd.
It's odd.
And Microsoft, though, did they make it?
Yeah, it's made by it's actually Turn 10's the developer, but apparently it's made by Studio Gobo or whatever that studio is that they pay, but it's considered first party.
Yeah, before we all flip out that we're not getting this hand-me-down little mobile game. I mean, Xbox isn't the place for that kind of stuff. Could they put it there? Sure, it wouldn't hurt anything, but it's nothing to bitch about, boys. Nothing.
Well, I'm just
Put it
saying,
in
like
Game Pass though. Just
Yeah.
I mean, but Shady, the thing is, though, for all the things that you and you got to understand, I actually respect for all the things you stand for. You make some outstanding points. But if you're going to sit there and say how great Game Pass is and this and that, and you're talking about from the crumbs all the way to the Shadow of the Tomb Raiders, this is another crumb, right? And it's a crumb made by the same company you're paying $10 a month for. So why can't you get that crumb? I mean, it doesn't hold water.
I just heard it was made by Studio Gobo, not Microsoft. So there's that.
Well, no,
it's a first-party game.
It's still like in development with Turn 10 Studios, and
it's a crumb. Don't get me wrong, Shady. I'm not. Your point's well taken, and you're not
like,
wrong.
I can understand like why isn't it over here, but I'm not.
Throw it in with the crumbs.
I'm not going to pretend to be upset for some people.
I'm not
upset. Let them get upset. Let them get upset.
Right.
I'm not upset. I could care less about this game.
Well, remember, I mean, and don't get me wrong, that's fine. But a lot of people are like, why would you bring it up? Well, it's a talk show. Second of all, right? I mean, second of all, right? It's a Microsoft product of sorts. I don't care how we divvy it up, and it's fine. Like, there's 360 games in Game Pass that all of us that have Game Pass don't even know that some of them are in there. They're crumbs, and we're like, you know what? This is another crumb that it just looks odd. And if I was Microsoft at this point, even with the noise they're hearing, I said, you know what? Just throw it in Game Pass and shut them all up.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the reason why I bring it up is because but the whole thing that when I've been talking about Xbox lately, a lot of their whenever they talk about stuff, it's specifically PC stuff or specifically xCloud, or their announcements are games that are going to everything but the Xbox, which kind of makes me scratch my head because it go the other way around. Literally everything on Xbox goes to PC and, you know, all this other stuff. So when you have stuff like Gears Tactics, that's announced as a PC exclusive, or Age of Empires, or you know, or Minecraft Dungeons, or this, right? Like, it's not even like this game is only available on PC right now, but it's going to come to the Nintendo Switch and, you know, and mobile. And especially when we got like those Halo games, remember those iPad games? Those ended up coming to Xbox. So it's a little bit curious to me that it is. I know it's easy to dismiss it.
Well, no,
it doesn't. Crappy Xbox, mobile game, but
doesn't Xbox really work very? They have that Razer keyboard and mouse that's out for like $200 or whatever. No,
yeah,
I'm not. No.
Yeah, you can use any keyboard and mouse, but that is out now,
exactly. Yeah. So my point is this, Shady, and this is not my bag, and it's probably not yours either. So we're in the same camp here. But like, if Age of Empires is made by Microsoft Studios or Xbox Game, put it in there. Put it in Game Pass. If you have keyboard and mouse, good for you. If you don't, guess what? You can't play it. That's a you problem, right? But throw it in there. Why are you segregating games? It doesn't. This is what comes back to all of it. Comes back to the first topic again. With it makes you think, what is Xbox thinking and what's their plan forward? We don't know. But if you look at the hints and the things like this, you say, geez, I wonder what they have in mind. Because when they say Xbox is PC and PC is Xbox, well, that's a two-way street. And and that's the thing. Don't get me wrong. Everything that everyone's saying here is correct. I don't care. But if we're having a discussion, I don't want to play Age of Empire, but I certainly should for my $10 a month, right? If I can, why can't I bought the Razer. I didn't, but I'm saying if I bought the Razer for $200, I certainly would like to play that on my Xbox, and I would really like to play it for my $10 a month service.
You know,
I agree.
I gotta say with Mooch and I believe Knox as well, and when it comes down to it, even though it's a little game / mobile game, you're right. The whole Spartan Assault and everything went onto console. I don't see what the big deal is. Like, why not put this small racing game that has the Forza name into Game Pass? Why not put, Age of Empires in there and stuff like that? If you're gonna do all that, there is a home for any type of game that you're making right now, and that's Game Pass. I mean, it's a no-brainer to me. I don't know why they're not.
Exactly, man. I'm not like, hey, I'm not saying I want this game per se, but it is annoying to me when it all adds up. You see what I'm saying? And then when I say that Microsoft tends to just talk about these platforms now and not so much the actual Xbox platform itself or the console, like Phil Spencer congratulates xCloud team for completing take-home version release of that, right? So they're going to be doing the testing. They talk about Halo Master Chief Collection, delayed on PC. This game was already having so much trouble, and now they're having Splash Damage and Ruffian Games help on the PC version of this. Like, it was already made by 5 different studios on the Xbox One version, So it's again, PC, xCloud, PC, xCloud. That to me is the part that's bothering me. But I do want to talk about Xbox games with gold, people.
Oh,
man.
No, hold on. I think I hear my mom calling me.
No, it's your grandma, dude. She's got she dry cleaned your cowboy outfit.
That was
Dude,
too quick, crap. That was way
I know,
right
dude.
there.
I'm sorry. Okay, so hold on. Let's see. Marooners. I've never heard of that. Golf Club. Cosmic
Golf Club.
Jumper. Earth Defense Force. Those Cosmic Jumper and Earth Defense Force are 360 games.
They are.
This Mooch. I don't even.
I don't even.
I don't even know what the hell to say anymore. Dude, I'm not even downloading these at this point. Like, I don't know what the deal is, but Golf Club.
I'm pretty sure you played Comic Jumper on the 360.
I played Comic Jumper on 360 for sure. I already own it.
I add all them shits to the library. I don't care if they say them licenses is getting added, kid. I pay for shit.
Hashtag mooching.
That shit is garbage, but
well, I'll tell you this much. So listen, I like to golf. I don't do it like all the time, but I don't mind it, to be honest with you. And I've heard from people that like to golf that golf game actually.
Yeah, again, I have the second one. The second one's already out, Mooch.
Is there actually something to purchase? Are you supposed to buy like is there a golf club that actually? I remember the original one that came out. I thought it came with a golf club. You had to pay extra for it.
No,
right? You don't. So, might be a different game I'm thinking of, but they used to have that with Connect. Well, they did, but it was supposed to be something as realistic as you can get.
Whenever you want to go 18 holes, I'm with you, man.
Yeah, I'm down, Xbox. But I'll be honest with you. Here's the thing, and shout out to Noof Nukem. Boom, boom, kaboom. He's in the room.
He's in the room,
right? But basically, here's the deal, crap. Game Pass killed the games with Gold Star. That's just the way it is. Game Pass, right? He did. Game Pass being there means that when you see some of these pretty decent titles showing up, or the middle of the road ones that are head scratch, you go, that's not bad. Like, everyone was pretty impressed with what Game Pass was putting out for the month of May. That's where games with gold now is just going to be those. It's going to be Pinball City. That's what you're going to get. It's just going to be
Pinball City.
It's going to be Pinball City for a while. I mean, they're putting their money and effort into Game Pass.
Noof in the chat said they should call it Games with Coal now.
No, chill.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, no, look, those aren't great. When I look over and I see the Sony ones, What Remains of Edith Finch and Overcooked.
Not great.
Not great, but I would say that they're probably better than Marooners and Golf Club. But
yeah, I mean,
Overcooked is good fun, man. It's
much.
hashtag fun. Yeah, it's not. Look, they're both crappy this month, but then again, Sony has been doing a better job the past few months of getting these better games out. Like, what do you guys think going around here? Like, as far as how do you look at these free games? Are they free games? I mean, we pay for them, so they're not technically free. But I mean, do you guys like getting these smaller games because that's not stuff we usually buy ourselves, or do you guys not care? Do you look at it as a bonus? Like, I'm just curious how people think about this, because for me, I think of it as we're the only ones that pay Xbox Live, right? If you're on a PC, you don't pay for it. We should be getting a little something more substantial than this.
You remember when you were a kid, though, crap? You're real young. You used to get the McDonald's Happy Meal, and you were so excited to pull out that 5-cent toy they gave you. And then do you remember being that age where you finally realized that one time when you pulled the thing out, you're like, this is a piece of shit? Well, that's kind of where I feel like right now. And I'm not, by no means, that may come off as a knock. It's really not. My point being is that at this point, I'm numb to it. And I know that when Games with Gold is announced, for the most part, it's just going to be like that toy that's at the bottom of the Happy Meal at this point, because they're putting their money and service and time and everything they got, effort, into Game Pass, and rightfully so. They want that thing to excel. They're not going to go ahead and give you a AA, AAA sensation, okay, for your Games with Gold when they really want. They take that same effort and throw it into another category of theirs, and they're making $10 a month extra on top of your 60 beans a year. So my point being is that realistically, myself, the way I look at when I see Larry's tweet come out every single month, it feels like that one time when you were whatever, 7, 8, 9, depends on the individual. You reached in, you pulled it out, and you're like, this is just not these Happy Meals done. I'm done with this thing for the rest of my life. It's over with at this point. Now, when I see it, I know that it's just going to be Pinball City. That's what it's going to be.
Guys, I've gone on the record saying that, when people didn't like the offerings for Games with Gold, I'm like, they got to cater to every type of gamer out there. So some months are going to be hit or miss. With that being said, this is really a miss for me. Like even like I don't know. Like I like
who they catered to this month.
yeah. That's what I'm saying though. This is the month that got me looking at it like, damn, what demographic is fitting these 4 games right now? And I gotta shout out to Noof, man. He called it. He called it back when they first said Game Pass. We're like, nah, Noof, nah, it's okay, man. They're gonna put in those quality games. They might not be as good, but they're not gonna do like Comic Jumper and Earth Defense Force. They wouldn't do that in the same month.
Which, by the way, Xbox Game Pass gets Wolfenstein 2, Tacoma, Lego Batman 3, Surviving Mars, and more. Actually, Surviving Mars is a pretty good game. Wolfenstein 2, really good game.
Great game.
It is. Like, these are really good games. I mean, it obviously
that game right there made it worth it for a month. That made it worth $10.
Absolutely.
It did.
I'll drop $10.
Well, I mean, I got news for you, to be honest with you, Knox. Knox, I'll tell you the truth, and I got to agree with Shady on this. I mean, the truth of the matter is, if you're going to go ahead and give them $10 sporadically every 3 months, just for your own sanity, wait till you see the thing go for $60 for the year. Just scoop it up. I mean,
if it does that, like the time
that's what I do. Every time I see it for 60, I grab it again because it's half price. They do it once a year, twice a year. Scoop that up because you're going to play a couple of real good games. Yeah,
when they did the 3 for $6, I picked up 2 of those.
Yeah, scoop it up.
Yeah,
guys, they are making my whole thing. When I was telling everybody about Game Pass and how great it's going to be and how they're going to continue to evolve it and all that good stuff, they are just making me look really good right now.
Dude, if they throw games like from the Xbox Live Arcade like they used to have in 360, bro, throw in those games like Kung Fu and Karate Champ and GR Kung Fu.
I want Kung Fu Chaos, man.
You throw those arcade shits in there, that shit adds to Game Pass too. That makes people say, you know what, I'll stay on here because I might want to pick up Gallagher and just bust it out for a quick second.
Yeah,
one day.
Exactly, man. I wish Microsoft would have paid attention to what they did before. It was really successful, and that arcade was super successful. We used to look forward to it every summer, and they kind of forgot about that. And I feel like they forgot about a lot of the things that made Xbox really, really fun and differentiate itself from competing platforms. But hopefully, they see a little bit of the criticism and maybe throw us a bone once in a while. For me personally, again, this is not something I personally care about. It's a talk show. I see a lot of people do care, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, if it's something I want, I get it or I mooch it. So, I'm pretty much good. Like, I understand not everybody can do that. So, I would like them to offer you guys, a AAA once in a while. I think that'd be cool. This is what I wanted to talk about, too. Epic Games buys Psyonix. I believe that's how you pronounce it. The Rocket League. Psyonix. Sorry.
Psyonix, man.
Yes, Psyonix. Yes. The Rocket League / soccer car developer, they're going to actually pull the game for sale off of Steam once this goes through. Like, these guys are not joking around.
That's how you do it, bro.
That is like here's the thing. I'm not even a PC guy. I don't care about PC. I don't game on PC, but these guys have balls, man. They're going out here. They're pulling the game off. They're going out buying stuff, making their platform viable, competing. I love that. Because I wish Microsoft would do that. That's the thing with me anyway. When I see this move, I'm like, holy crap, this is, and I saw Mooch #courage earlier. What did you think, Mooch?
I got to be honest with you. Listen, Knox goes, that's savagery. He's like, that's all, that's gangster, right? That's gangster, which I agree with you. And then Crap says they got balls. I'll tell you what, guys, there's a better word for it. It's called business.
That's right.
Okay, it's called business. And I don't understand why, everyone is just so up in arms. That's what you do.
That's what Microsoft should have done with the fucking Windows Store.
Yes. It's what Microsoft should do with a number of different things, to be honest with you, Pred. But yeah, absolutely, you can make that reference. And look at Sweeney. He was the one that a few years ago that was saying Microsoft is going to end up making the Microsoft Store a monopoly and blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, he's doing it. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. People you remember what you used to say 3 years ago? Who cares what you said 3 years ago, right? Who cares? It's about today. And in today's world, Epic Games right now they're trying to be a juggernaut. And people 3 years ago were like, nobody can mess with Steam. Sure they can. You cut their dividends. You know, I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's business. That's why when everybody's like, I just want to play everything on one thing and get along. It doesn't work that way. That's fantasy camp. You know, it's just not realistic. No other business does that. I can't go to a Ford dealership and buy a Toyota. I can't.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. You know, why can't I use What's that?
It's on the used lot, that Toyota at the Ford.
Yeah. It's called Shady and Mooch's used lot, not Ford. You know, it's not. It's not real, guys. This is business, and if you don't believe me, watch Epic as they keep buying everything they possibly can get their name on. And I get it. A lot of people are like, "Boo, boo!" I'm standing out there like. It's fucking capitalism. You go out there, you do it. That's what you do. You know, it's how you make a better product. You're giving your consumer what they want. That's why I shop at that store. You know, it doesn't matter what you like. You're like, I'm a stereo guy. I like these kinds of speakers. Well, they're only for sale at this retailer. You have to go there. That's just the way it is. There's no mall that just when you walk into the mall, it's one big store. And everything's in there. Macy's, Target items, everything's in one store. It doesn't exist. So when people are like, it needs to happen in gaming. What? It's not. It's not going to happen. Like, Sony's not going to do that. Epic's not going to do that. So now you have two big companies. Forget what Mooch is saying. You've got two big companies saying that'll never happen. So guess what? It probably won't.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know what? I think it's smart. That's a smart move because, look, how many years has the Microsoft Store been floundering, right? And they haven't really done anything to really fix a lot of the issues. A lot of the issues that people had with the Microsoft Store, they still have right now. You know, so I don't understand how Epic can come in there.
What are some of these issues? I don't deal with the Microsoft Store unless it's on
Predator. Maybe Predator knows.
Bro,
Predator.
Typically, when you buy a game, right? Let's say, like when I buy Forza or God of War, sometimes you have this glitch where the game won't launch, and it seems to be like rampant most of the time when I buy games on. Again, they're cross-play games, so you can buy them on Xbox and PC. So when I go the Xbox version, it loads up like it's supposed to. When I go the PC version, sometimes the game doesn't load. There's always, I mean, and this goes with Steam or any other game you buy on PC. There's always that day one download you have to do, or you have to download some drivers. So you get used to that as a PC gamer, but for some reason, Microsoft games don't accept that patch. Like, especially like I remember when Quantum Break came out, like that game wouldn't work for me for like 2 days. Just because it had to download other shit in the background, and it either wouldn't download it correctly or it wouldn't launch when it did download. So like it's like simple shit like that. So I can see where gamers are kind of hesitant to veer away from the Steam store and go to Epic or go to Windows or go to Ubisoft or whatever fucking driver or launcher they have. They're so used to Steam. And so when they transition over to something else, it doesn't always work properly. So I get that aspect of it, but outside of that, when the game actually does launch, it's the same fucking game. So
it is like the Epic Store is feature light in comparison to Steam. So all they have is the fact that that's the only place to buy your game. And I mean, like, hey, a place could have the most delicious burger in the whole world, but if I gotta crawl through a sewer to get there, I'm out. So Epic has a lot of work to do on their storefront, on their security issues. All I see when games are Epic exclusive, like Borderlands, for example, is pages and pages of comments about, I'm not buying it because fucks Epic. Fuck them. There's a lot of people that just don't like it. It's not consumer. It's not helping me as a consumer or anyone else out there at all. What Epic is doing, it's helping Epic and it's helping the developers.
Well, I will say this.
I'm not here to argue for billion-dollar businesses. I'm here to argue for the consumer. And so far, Epic hasn't done shit. So until they do, I can understand why people are upset and don't like them and the maneuvering.
But how have they changed anything for you?
And that's what I was about to get at. Like,
they could make better options in their storefront. They could give me cheaper games. They already make, like, it went from a 30% profit share to 12. That's 18% that they're giving 100% to the publishers for.
Right.
How about you give 9% extra to the publishers and an extra 9% off the game to me?
Agree.
Like, there's no customer bonuses at all with what Epic is doing, so I don't applaud it at all. Their exclusive stuff doesn't help me. It doesn't help anybody but Epic.
Okay, so hold on a second. Here's where I have a problem with that, okay? Because the other 364 days, we're sitting here being like, come on, let's fight for the devs. They worked so hard for us. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have these great games.
Like I said, give them an extra 9% more than Steam and take 9% off my game price. Until I'm affected, I'm not going to applaud the maneuver, really.
That may come down the pipe, but guess what? That will only come down the pipe if something like this is originated and this happened, right? Because let me tell you what Steam was not going to do. What you just asked for. Epic might, but Steam wasn't. And my point being one step further is, if we're going to sit here for 364 days out of the year and be like, let's support those devs. Well, if you're going to say that on Twitter and every show, then this is a hell of a start. So I would buy my game on Epic over Steam because I support the developers. Somebody that moves for president on a bumper sticker immediately.
No.
Who's yelling?
I don't really give a shit about what the devs make.
I know, but
I'm
you know
a consumer.
what I'm saying, though,
I want the cheapest shit possible.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is,
possible.
the competition, having the competition, Steam having Epic as competition is going to do that. It's going to cause that to happen. It's going to drive prices down. It's supposed to. Yeah, well, it should. They got to compete. And one of them's going to have to start. They got to compete. You know what I mean? But if everybody just says, oh, no, just boycott Epic. Nah, bro.
Here's the crazy thing. Like,
you can't give Steam all of that power.
And they say, support the devs. But how many times have we seen on the internet where these motherfuckers are getting fired and laid off? And we're paying the same prices now that we've been paying. And we're paying the same prices on Steam that we've been paying. So, to sit here and act like they're not getting paid, that isn't the issue. Like, I don't give a shit about their not being, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but like, I don't give a shit about what the devs make. That's their contract that they sign that's their job. They decide to do that contract for that price. That's their issue. I'm a consumer at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
If I can buy a game on Steam for $60, and I can buy that same game and I can get, the same fucking game on Epic for $40, I'm going to buy it for $40. I don't really give a shit about supporting them financially. That's not my fucking problem. Yeah. I don't give a shit how they eat.
I'm with you, man. Listen, the reason why I think this is important is because when you're a business and you're trying to grow and become known, you've got to do things like that. And I applaud, because Microsoft doesn't have the balls to do stuff like that. That's where I bring the comparison. Like, Microsoft has these multiple platforms and has all the money in the world and won't pull the trigger on getting anything that would possibly want people to like jump on board with their either platform.
Here's the other thing, Crap. All the people that were saying I'm not buying it on Epic, guess what? They'll buying it on Epic.
Yeah, they're going to buy it. They said the same thing about Metro. Metro sold way more on
that company.
Exactly. So
I'll pay too.
Exactly. That's how these things go. Look, every year, even I say this, I'm not buying another Call of Duty, right? And what the hell do I buy? Freaking buy a Call of Duty. And this year, I'm not saying that because it looks like it's going to be Modern Warfare 4, so I'm all in. Days Gone, biggest launch of the year so far. Got slightly.
Where though? Hold on. Where? There's some serious caveats there. Like in the UK, physical only. That's
physical.
Like who cares? My God.
But I mean, it's gonna obviously do well on the.
It's a bit of a canary in the mine. It's a big one, but I mean, at the same time, like. Physical sales in the UK only is the fastest selling using those metrics.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean it's the fastest selling game of the year.
But usually translates over.
But it does bring that up. It does.
Absolutely.
It does, and it translates well because usually when that happens in the UK, it's very interesting how it happens here too. And
There's
the
one
game,
way to look at it is that the physical is selling high. Sorry, Crap. So maybe they didn't buy digital because with Days Gone, everyone was like, I might sell this one. Like,
I mean, you could. I bought physical. I bought physical because I bought the collector's edition. So I was like, hell yeah. But I do think that it's very important to say because look, Sony does a good job at cultivating their things. And I even saw people like Jez Gordon talking about this, which thankfully he says what I apparently am not allowed to say, which is Microsoft has done a shit job this generation of cultivating and nurturing their IP this generation. Like I guess other people are allowed to say that and I can't. But even he said it, there's going to be sequels to Days Gone. This game is performing exceptionally well for Sony. We'll see a sequel. 72 on Meta. I think that's, good, not great, but I love the game. I thought it was a really, really good game. I thought it was much better than what a lot of the reviewers were saying.
I'll tell you this much, Crap. I think the game is doing better in the eyes of the gamer. I think this is the oddest thing I've ever seen. I went into it looking at it as a 72 game, right? And I'm looking at it and I'm playing it and I'm like, it feels and plays better than a 72. Now, that doesn't mean it's a 92. All right, let's calm down.
There's issues. There's issues. Frame rate drops. There's there's bugs and stuff.
It's a lot of fun.
And that's something that you can't say about Microsoft this generation. Sony has done a really good job creating new IPs that people want to see sequels for, whereas Microsoft, not so much.
Yeah. See,
Microsoft has IPs I want to see sequels for.
Yeah, they have some, but they do it.
I haven't heard anything about it.
They don't nurture it because who was that said that tweeted out this, Mooch? Was it Delilah HD? She was like, she would love to see a Recore, but it seems like Microsoft. Delilah. Yeah, like Microsoft hasn't done a good job of kind of nurturing what they have. Now, here's the thing. Sony has come out with hit after hit after hit, and I know that's kind of an in-joke, right? Hit after hit after hit. That people are willing to give this game a shot because it's a first-party Sony game, right? They're like, they don't even care about the Metascore.
They also had 2 days where they could take it back to GameStop for a full refund.
This is true. This is true for the physical one, but I'm going to say that this game is going to do well on NPD as well.
It probably will,
yeah. Listen, and again,
it should though. The game deserves it, bro.
Like here's the thing. I went in, I wasn't sure what to expect. Thankfully there's difficulty settings. Me, put it down to easy because I ain't got time for nothing else. And I went in, and I was really exactly, and I was surprised at just it's not like game of the year, great dialogue like Last of Us, but there's a good crafting element where you're upgrading your stuff and and the amount of enemies on the screen, and there is a decent story there, and the world is beautiful. And so I think that it's great that Sony was able to allow them to take a chance to do this, and a sequel like this could be Sony Ben's last Uncharted moment, right? Where the first Uncharted wasn't great or amazing, and then the second one just blew everybody away. A sequel to this game could blow everybody away, and I believe Sony believes enough in this game. I mean, they've marketed it amazingly well. I've seen advertisements all over for it.
I made a point. I mean, shameless plug here on my stream last night. I said, someone was asking me, Mooch, why do you think that this game is getting the not a pass, but the praise it's getting from the gamers? And I said, listen, let's compare it to State of Decay 2. Now, State of Decay, right? Well, but here's the thing that's kind of interesting, and it's the tale of two developers. It's not necessarily, don't look at the games at face value, but this is a game where Ben Studios, their last games were Vita games for the most part, okay? So this is their first crack at what you'd call a AAA game, okay? It's got some of Sony's first-party money thrown at it.
Vita AAA, like their own words were AAA experience on the Vita.
Well, yeah.
So there's that.
I'm calling my stream last night AAA too, Shady. But here's my point, right? So what I'm saying is this. I'm saying that this is their first crack at it, and it's a hell of a good game. Going back to State of Decay with Undead Labs, State of Decay 1 was their Days Gone, right? That was their first crack at going at it. And you know what you say? Give them a pass because State of Decay 2 is going to be that much better. It's going to be so great, blah, blah, blah. Days Gone, give them a bit of a pass through that first kind of trying to climb up out of that AA, trying to climb into that AAA category. Give them a little bit of a break, see what they can do. The game is what it is. It's #fun. State of Decay 2 comes out, and I feel like it's just State of Decay 1 with a larger base of operations. And it's like, okay, that's not what I thought we were going to do. Now, again, same critique. If Days Gone 2 comes out, and it's got the same issues and glitches and this and that, that's a fail. Days Gone 2 is has to supersede Days Gone 1. And I don't think State of Decay 2, yes, of course it looked better than a 360 game versus an Xbox One game, but there was so many issues with it. That's why I think State of Decay 2 got such a bit of slack, was they were expecting that jump. They're like, okay, really cool State of Decay. Let's see if this State of Decay 2 could take this thing to the next level, go really crazy with it. And I don't think they did that. Days Gone, okay, here you go. You're coming from the Vita world up to the console world. Okay, now let's see what your next one is as we boost you up with Sony money like Undead Labs. When they had State of Decay 2, they had Microsoft money, a bigger studio, more people.
They didn't have access to all the Microsoft resources. They were not a first-party studio, whereas Bend has always been a Sony first-party studio. Sorry, for a very long time here, since Siphon Filter on the PlayStation. My God, 20 years.
But they made a
They've
Vita
been with
game.
Sony a long time. They've
Like a
been
Game
owned
Boy
by
game.
Sony. They're still a first party studio, whereas it was not the case with State of Decay dev. And the second game, I'm not a fan, but it is much improved over the first game. The launch bugs aside, which have all been fixed by now, by the way. Like, I don't know why we're comparing these two games. Let's compare a Sony exclusive to a Sony exclusive. This game is not as good as the last couple Sony exclusive games. It's good, it's selling well.
Hold on.
I don't like seeing. Hold on. What I don't like seeing is because this game is exclusives, we can't get an honest fucking answer out of anybody because they're either propping it up because they love Sony, or they don't want to be too much of an Xbot, so they're being fair with it, or they're just slamming it because they are blatant Xbot. This is what exclusives do that I don't like, is you can't get honest opinions from gamers because we're all caught up in the console war. It's stupid.
Well, I think the thing is the fact that you see Xbox fans who prop up Xbox no matter what and refuse to say anything bad about Xbox, went out and bought the game and are playing it and reviewing it. I think that says a lot that, you know, they clearly wish that maybe Microsoft was putting out stuff like
sort
this.
of. One could be said, there's a lot to be said with the monetization of an Xbox fan's honest game review on YouTube. That's going to go on to make a few $100. Pay for the game, so it's free. Who cares? Like, I mean, there's a lot of agenda going on as to why this game is being played and talked about the way it is, and a lot of it comes down to its exclusive nature, to especially Sony. You have to look at it. Multi-plat game.
Follow better reviewers.
It'd be a 69, 72 for everybody if it was a multi-plat game, and we wouldn't be talking about it like we are. We'd just be like,
I gotta disagree with that, bro. I'm enjoying the game, and I'm honestly enjoying the game.
I am too.
Oh, there'll be some people that love it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I'm not saying, me personally, the game is dope. I said it was an 8. I stand by that 8.
Yep.
And I am enjoying it thoroughly. Shit, I even put out a tweet that the bike was annoying the shit out of me. Now, bro, I've actually learned how to play and have some time with it. I'm fucking enjoying the bike too.
Once you tweak the bike, once you tweak it, it gets much better.
That's what I said last night. I gave it literally because we're on the show now. It's like you just say, well, that's what you said now. I said it last night. You can check out the stream. It's on the VOD. I said at this point, I would give this an 8 out of 10. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. I don't think it's any worthy or more of that or less than that. It's a solid game. It's got a solid story. You know, listen, but I almost call it a baby The Last of Us. You know, it's not. It doesn't have the caliber of the.
They were influenced by it for sure.
It absolutely was. So it's a baby version of that. And I mean, to be honest with you, it feels good.
But they were influenced by a lot of other games too. There's a lot of other little mechanics.
Yeah, there are.
They borrowed from a lot of games and they implemented
Tomb Raider.
Bro. Just
Far Cry.
Shit, The Witcher. They got fucking you picking herbs up and shit and mushrooms and shit. You know what I mean? And the game never makes you feel like you're like desperate. Oh my God, I need that. You know what I mean? Like it always, as long as you're looking around and you're paying attention, there's always shit to grab so you can stay fully stocked. You can shoot, you can fight, you can stealth kill, which is what I prefer.
I will say my critique I do have is, and I'm not at the end of the game, but like at the middle beginning, I would say that the hordes, and maybe this is the way the game's designed. I'll find out as I approach the end because I want to know how strong the main character Deacon gets. But I feel like, like the other day, last night, I went to go fight a couple of the nests, and I went and I blew one up. And when I did that, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like a horde came running. Well, don't get me wrong, it was a magnificent sight to see on screen. It was wow. I mean, holy shit. I mean, even when you're playing the game, you're like, oh shit. You're like, wow, I gotta get the fuck out of here. But my point being is I was like, it felt like there are times in the game when the horde appears that you kind of feel like you're a bit helpless. And again, if I'm talking, a Ben Studio developer might be like, and that's what we wanted you to feel like. Okay, then mission accomplished. But I mean, I feel like at times early on in the game when that happens or you run across them, it's run, flee or die. And it's like I feel like that you as a gamer should have a little bit more of an ability to attack that situation. I think as the game progresses, you'll be able to maybe not attack, but get out of a situation better. That's my one critique right now, where I kind of feel like it's a helpless thing, is at the middle of the game, the horde it makes you feel like more helpless in the game where you don't have an attack strategy.
The only thing I am pulling from this whole thing with Days Gone is so many people out there were like 85 or bust. You know me, I can give 2 craps about Metacritic. If I'm interested in the game,
Metacritic is worthless.
I'm interested in the game.
It's worthless.
But for all those people who are like 85 or bust and and pointing at Xbox games, this, that, or whatever. If you guys are enjoying this game, that's great.
Yeah.
But remember what you have said. Remember what you wrote in the book of life a couple pages back, because that's coming up to haunt you. So now, hopefully, when we get a few pages ahead, that kind of console war thing where it's like 85 or bust again, don't go back to that, guys. Because
that's true, Xbox. But I've been to dinner with a bunch of people that say they can't stand onions. All of a sudden, they're eating a plate. They're like, this is the best thing I've ever eaten. Oh, there's onions in that. There's onions in here. How's that happen? I mean, listen, you can't really say, because it depends on how the game hits you at the time, right? It's not really fair.
Well, yeah, but see, the thing is, the 85 or bust at that point.
Oh, the 85 or listen, and nobody should ever be like, let's say Shady said to me, Mooch, prove to me right now that you like Days Gone. And I'm like, oh, easy, man.
No, I believe Mooch. She's a zombie maniac. There's zombies in it.
No, but I'm joking. I'm just saying, like, if I just said 85, it's an 85 Metacritic. Oh, that's why I like it. That's horseshit, right? So what I'm saying is Metacritic is really, I mean, look at who the actual defining factors are here. It's the gaming media. I mean, for God's sakes, how many times in the past, like 12 months, think back to when you read a gaming media like headline or actual article, and you're like, this girl's got it really nailed down. No, usually you're like, what are you talking about? I don't feel like that at all. These are the people that determine the Metacritic score. I think that's why a lot of people have to understand that's why people do turn to YouTube. That's why people turn to your individual channels. It doesn't matter how big or small you are. It doesn't make a difference. There's people who connect with the way that you feel and the way that you play a game and the way you enjoy a game. That's why they prefer your channel over the gaming media or others, because they just connect with how you play the game.
Well, did you guys see that GameSpot review where the reviewer, she was saying that she took it down huge points because she doesn't like the term old lady. Like, that's a biker term. That's how bikers speak. I don't give a shit that she doesn't like it. She took it down for that. She took it down because the freakers are white. Where's the minority freakers? And it's like, I guess in the story, the freakers have like a pigment issue and all this stuff. So but either way, like she was taking points off for these things when that's not the way games should be looked at. So when you don't look at those reviews, you go and you find someone that you do resonate with and you take their point as opposed to this blanketed crap.
Jedno Floresto says Days Gone is the reason Microsoft is afraid to take risks. Sony took a risk and complaints are rampant. Why would Microsoft keep burning money for bad reviews? Well, listen, the 72 would be a great review for Microsoft.
For a Microsoft
game, like look, you just gotta be real about it, right? Like 72 is not bad. They put a lot of time in that. Microsoft needs to get there. They gotta have the you know what I'm saying? They gotta have time, and I get that. I totally understand that. Hopefully they have a lot of really good stuff coming out with these new developers and their new studios, and E3. I'm really excited to see what they can come by that. I think Days Gone is fun. It's a lot of what I didn't really expect. Like how like the open world is kind of so interesting to me. And I don't think I'm one of those people that don't think every game needs open world, but this is really well done with how they've done it.
I think the other thing that Sony's been doing right, forget the game itself, is we say this no matter what it is in life, right? Timing is everything. Yes. Timing is everything. And look at when this launched.
I don't know, right? The tail end of the last holiday, quote unquote holiday release. Like, I just bought 5 or 6 games in the last 2 months. So
it's May.
Days Gone, like every single other Sony first party game, is just gonna sit and wait in the bargain finder till it's $30 for me, and probably will play and look better because of patchwork. Because they don't have any multiplayer component at all that interests me. I mean, I understand Days Gone and Uncharted, but then no one talks about them. Who cares? Right. It's single player experience. Right. I can wait and get it for cheap.
I'll tell you something,
Shady. It's going to be better later.
Shady, you don't understand. It's funny. If you listen to younger Mooch, I completely agree with you. And that was my world. But nowadays, like different things happen in your schedule that change. I found myself playing more single player games as I get older.
That's what happened to me too.
I'm doing multiplayer like crazy still. I can't put my multiplayer down.
I did too, but you don't understand. Like about 3 years ago, I was up to like 2, right? I was up to like 2, 3 in the morning. Now I'm like, yo, that shit hurts when you got to get up at 6 a.m. So right? So like there'll be a day. I can't put a time on it. I'm not Father Time. I can't do that. There's gonna be a day, Shady, coming up in your future where you're gonna be like, dude, I'm done with this. You're just tired staying up till 2 a.m. playing. I loved it. I missed it.
Like I find that when I play online, it's dynamic, it's engaging. And I do not play video games for story first. Story is one of the last things I play a video game for.
I kind of get that. I kind of get that. Yeah.
It can have a story and everything else, but I find fighting the AI is just redundant and
for
boring.
Me personally,
they need to up the AI game in video games for me to feel engaged again. Most games is a boring game of whack-a-mole now with some cutscenes attached to it. I'm not playing for the cutscenes, and whack-a-mole's getting boring. So they need to do something with single-player gaming, the AI especially, to make it more engaging for me.
I do think AI needs to step up. Yeah, I think AI needs to step up. Shady, they'll
definitely do that with the new
hopefully
CPUs
next gen. Yeah, hopefully.
Go bust out some Division. That AI will bust your ass.
Well, listen. Like as far as I'm concerned, I like being able to put an hour or so into a story-based game, but I also like multiplayer stuff. I haven't had as much time for that lately, but I'm with Mooch. As I've gotten a little bit older, I've kind of gotten more into some of the single player stuff, but I still like, I'm going to be when Gears releases, obviously. I'll be all over that. I'll probably give Halo a shot until I get spanked all around that, and then I'll just play custom matches or the story and stuff like that. I've always enjoyed that.
Day one, you got to come in with me, brother.
Yeah, like we always played it on like the game nights, and when you play custom, you don't rank up. So I'm incredibly low ranked on that, but I still have fun with it. I think it's it's one of those games that takes a lot of skill. And then of course when Call of Duty comes out, if it's Modern Warfare 4 as rumored, I'll be all over that because that's probably my favorite my favorite Call of Duty. Mine too. Exactly, I'll be all over that. Thankfully, boots on the ground, all that kind of good stuff. With that being said, Mooch is probably sending me a thing. Hold on, Eli Chun says so. Some of you cared about some meta scores on Xbox game. Now all of a sudden, meta doesn't matter. Shady is speaking facts. I think it's all comes down to a personal opinion. Like for me, and I think Xbox was bringing up that point as well. I just think that if you put a lot of stock into it, you can't all of a sudden not put stock into it.
Dude, I've been consistent all the way through, brother.
Yeah, like, I've been hearing.
What I've said is if you have a universally appraised game like GTA or whatever, then it's usually a good indication of a game being good. If a game is polarizing and has good and bad, then that's really going to be more or less like on the person itself. So I think that's what we really have to look.
I hear you. If the meta is like hovering around 100 or down in the 30s, you kind of know it's like it's either really good or trash. Good chance.
Exactly. And those middle road ones, I always suggest just play for yourself or go to somebody you trust and get it there. But if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button, we really do appreciate it. I'm going to do some outros. Mooch, what do you got? Tell people we're not going to be doing. There's
well, I got it's just a long weekend for Mooch, but guess what? Your Mooch marathon doesn't end tonight. We do have I'll be streaming tomorrow night on the Mooch 78 on twitch.tv. I'll also be streaming on Friday night, but I will not be having Crossfire this week because I'm not going to be home during the Crossfire time slot. So I won't be there. I will be streaming later on Friday night. So if you want to get Mooch's opinions, I'm actually thinking about doing a multiplayer game too. I'll either be doing State of Decay 2 or World War Z on my stream channel there, so on Twitch, so that we can have some conversation while we game.
Zombie-Con.
Yes, Zombie-Con all weekend long, and then Sekiro weekend too. But then we'll be doing MNC on Crap's channel on Sunday morning. So just because my schedule just kind of got wacky this weekend. So no Crossfire this Friday. Sorry, guys. But I will be streaming again if you want to get like a miniature Crossfire going. I might be able to get Crap on there so we get him to stay up past the streetlights on for a night.
I'm sleepy.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Crap. I get it. But no, thank you guys, everybody. And do check out the Mooch 78 on YouTube, the Mooch 78 on Twitch. Check me out at Mooch1978 on Twitter. Do it up. Thank
awesome
you,
stuff. And we also got XBot 448. What's going on, my friend?
Oh, yo, everybody, you might be disappointed about no Crossfire this Friday, but I will let you know next podcast is going down Saturday, 7 p.m. on my channel. And guess what, guys? You guys voted for Pred. Pred won the gameplay.
Yeah, Pred!
Coming in with some fire this Saturday. Hopefully, I think K-Mega should have gameplay. So I'll be going in with him and see who else brings gameplay. But it is a great show. It is a great time. Great topics. Great chat. It's just, Mooch, what is it?
Great!
It's great!
Great.
Right,
Everything's
brother.
great. Yes.
It better be crap.
Yes.
Right.
We also got Shady. What do you got going on this week, man?
This week, well, I was here. I'm here every Wednesday, so you can catch me on Xbox Nation on Wednesdays. I'm also doing Breakfast with Boom again. We took last week off because of the Avengers took precedence for one Mr. Boomstick. We had to let him have it. We had to let him have it.
JD, you're on the show now. I just want to say I'm also going to be on Breakfast with Boom
That's
with you
right.
on Friday
That's right,
morning.
Vero. I was going to say we got Mooch on the show this week. It's also the 50th episode, I believe. It's the 50th, so there's going to be some prizes to be won. Everyone that tunes in has a chance at winning some stuff, both from Boomstick and his wife. You know, they're just awesome community members, both of them. There,
I
they
want
do
to
so
win
much
a
for the
Ouya.
community. It's great stuff.
Are you guys giving away a Ouya?
A Ouya. Oh yeah. Well, you know, you'd almost have to give some money away with that Ouya.
JD, now that you're a panel member on Breakfast with Boom, I would like to also put an entry in that panel members can win the gifts.
That's what I'm telling Boom. I'm like,
thank
bro, before I was even a panel member, when I was just guesting on a show, he constantly had me on these special episodes where he's giving stuff away. I'm like,
right?
Come on here. I never get a chance to win. Just be on the show to hype it up. Come on.
Hashtag mooching.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I hope everyone can come check us out. It's early morning there on Friday. And then I'm also guesting on the GRG podcast again this Friday with K Mega and crew.
Nice.
So without Crossfire, hey, come on by and check us out on GRG.
That's going to be a wild show right there.
It definitely
always
will be.
is. So yeah.
Also, we got Knox, who, by the way, is now an official full-time panel member of Xbox Nation. So congrats to him on that. He's a really cool guy. I know Xbot was the one that kind of found them and was like introduced him to everybody, and he just really kills it and has great opinions.
Knox is great.
I got a lot of great feedback for
Diamond in the
him
rough,
as well.
brother.
So yeah, thank you so much, Knox, man. What do you got going on for the rest of the week?
Oh man, right now I'm just gonna be chilling, bro. Tomorrow I gotta work. I'm off today, but tomorrow I gotta work. And man, I'm glad to be a member of the panel right here on Xbox Nation, so y'all can catch me here. I am gonna do an In Knox We Trust episode that's gonna be coming soon for this week coming up because I got the weekend off, so I'm gonna knock that out. And the next podcast on Saturdays, baby. You all ready?
All right. And
But
then
how many
also,
yuckers was in your contract? Sorry, there, Pat. How many yuckers were in there?
I cannot disclose the amount of yuckers.
And also we got Pred, who is also welcome here anytime he wants, whenever he can make it. I always drop him a line and a link. What do you got going on, Pred? I know you won I voted for you, actually. So
Did you vote for me this time?
Yes, I voted for you.
Vote for
I
Brad.
played Blood Truckers or something. A couple more votes that went me so fucking close. But next podcast Saturdays, and God knows where I will end up.
Wherever he's needed.
Wherever I'm needed. And it's crazy. And I got a disclaimer here. So ever since I've been podcasting, I've been saying follow me or hit me up on Predator_H2OS. And my daughter brought this to my attention. She's like, there's no underscore in your username on Xbox. So is this Predator space H2OS? So that's where you can find me on Xbox. I think it's the same for PlayStation as well. But if you don't know, just hit me up on Twitter and MySpace, and I will gladly get back to you.
Awesome. Good stuff. And we'll catch you guys next week. Make sure you guys pay attention to all these awesome people. Check out their channels and check out their podcast. Great group here. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. We'll catch you next time. Later. Peace.